Welcome to Direct U.S. Immigration's channel, where you get direct access to our most up-to-date immigration and global mobility space. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I'm going to talk about things you should know about the Conditional Resident Visa. You're not going to want to miss out on this one. Stay tuned. For tuning in. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I'm a U.S. immigration attorney based in Washington, D.C. I'm also the principal attorney at Direct U.S. Immigration, where we work with clients in all 50 states and around the world. Before we start, click on the like and subscribe button to follow our Immigration Hub to get the latest immigration information that could be vital to your case. And also, be sure to stick around until the end to get a bonus tip on how to ace your marriage-based green card interview. As you know, the CR-1 visa, or Conditional Resident Visa, is for immigrant spouses who have been married for less than 2 years when they enter the United States with their visa. With this status, the spouse can move to the United States on a conditional basis. During this time, the expectation is that the couple will stay married for at least 2 years. And after this period, the couple can jointly file to remove conditions from the visa holder's conditional resident card. The visa holder will then receive the CR-1 visa, or the permanent green card, which lasts for 10 years. So here are some things that you should know about with the CR-1 visa. Now let's talk about the USCIS processing versus consular processing. So there are two options to process your case, which includes filing inside the U.S. as an adjustment of status, or filing outside of the U.S. through consular processing. The difference in which processing you should choose will depend on the physical location of your spouse. Another item of note is evidence of the Bona-Fide marriage. So before you are deemed eligible to petition an immediate relative for a green card, the petitioner must prove that their marriage is true. So USCIS requires that the marriage take place for love, though exceptions can apply for certain cultures where arranged marriages are more prevalent, but not to obtain an immigration benefit. So again, that sole purpose for applying cannot be to evade immigration law. If it is determined by USCIS that the case is being filed for the sole purpose to obtain an immigration benefit, the case will be denied, and both the U.S. citizen and foreign spouse could be subject to steep fines and even jail time. Now let's talk about the income requirement for the sponsor. So as part of the application process, the U.S. petitioner has to prove that, according to the numbers set forth within the U.S. poverty guidelines, the U.S. sponsor's household income is high enough to support the immigrating family members at 125% or more of the U.S. poverty line levels. So if the sponsor does not meet this, then a joint sponsor can be included in the application. And additionally, there is an exception to this 125%. If the individual is in the military, then that is lowered to 100% of the poverty guideline. Now, if you are having trouble meeting the income requirement through liquid cash, you can use or supplement the liquid cash amount with your assets. Using assets requires more value than liquid income. To determine the value of assets required to qualify, you must first understand the value of your asset. To do so, you must subtract any liens or liabilities from the asset to understand its true value per immigration requirements. You must then subtract your household income from the minimum income requirement, which again is either 125% or 100% of the poverty level for your family size, in order to determine how much the asset needs to cover. Then, you must prove that the cash value of your asset is worth 5 times this difference. And all assets must be able to become liquid or convertible to cash within 12 months if needed. Now, if the petitioner does not meet the income requirements, a joint sponsor may be added to the petition. A joint sponsor can be a friend or family member with U.S. domicile and must be either a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and willing to vouch for your petition financially. Now let's talk about the public charge rule. So the public charge basically means that an immigrant is at a higher risk of becoming financially dependent on the government for their well-being. To avoid being labeled as a public charge, You must then prove that the U.S. sponsor can financially support you or has the cash reserves to pay for your living expenses if they do not work. And so this is where that Form I-864 comes in. Now let's talk about the interview for the conditional green card. So the visa interview is a very important step in obtaining the visa. This is where you get to show that you are not only eligible for the visa, but also qualified to immigrate to the U.S. Being nervous about the interview is normal, but being prepared for the interview can mitigate some of that nervousness you might feel. So if you'd like to know what to expect during the green card interview, you can always schedule a consultation with me at the link below. So now let's go into removing conditions after receiving your conditional green card. So after you have obtained the CR-1 visa, so the conditional green card, it will be valid for 2 years. Prior to the expiration of the green card, you will need to remove the conditions from the green card by filing Form I-751. The expectation is that you will still be married by the time this is required. However, if a separation or a divorce occurred prior to filing, there are other options available. As promised, here's some bonus information that you may not know about. So, most important is to be honest and open during the interview. Think of the interview as an opportunity to give the officer a window into your life as a couple, and not as an obligation to portray the ideal marriage. Every couple experiences marital difficulties, and you shouldn't be penalized for admitting your own. Being authentic to your own experience is very important when obtaining a marriage-based green card. I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe if this content or information helps you in any way. Comment below if you want me to talk about something in specific, and share this resource widely because you never know who needs answers to these questions. Additionally, if you have any specific questions to this video as they pertain to your unique circumstances, please schedule a consultation with us, also at the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.